Welcome to Fort Lee for tonight's Big North Conference wrestling match between the visiting Tenafly Tigers and the Fort Lee Bridgemen. Today's contest is being conducted according to the rules of the New Jersey State High School Athletic Association. These rules provide for fair competition among players. Spectators can help promote good sportsmanship by observing the rules of fair play. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion shall not be tolerated. This could subject the violator to ejection and may result in penalties being assessed against your team. Each one is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this competition at a high level of good sportsmanship. At this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. tonight's matchups. Weighing in at 106 for Tenafly, Alex Shu or Shira Sterling. For Fort Lee, unopposed. Weighing in at 113 for Fort Lee, Andrew Margolin, unopposed. Weighing at 120 for Tenafly, Peter Benigos, unopposed. Weighing at 126 for Tenafly, Kyle Simone. For Fort Lee, Mike Campese. Weighing in at 132 for Tenafly, Jason Lang. For Fort Lee, Justin Yu. Weighing in at 138 for Tenafly, George Benigos. For Fort Lee, Ivan Garabulia. Weighing in at 144 for Tenafly, Adam Casimir, unopposed. Weighing in at 150 for Tenafly, James Reiser. For Fort Lee, Max Divinovsky. Weighing in at 157 for Tenafly, Andrew Sun. For Fort Lee, A.L. Menti. Weighing in at 165 for Tenafly, Jeremy Tinkoff. For Fort Lee, Ryan Kim. Weighing in at 175 for Tenafly, Evan Browski. For Fort Lee, Aiden Supp. Weighing in at 190 for Tenafly, Guy Alzer or Paul Morganson or Heroes Lacanaris. For Fort Lee, Miles Beckerman. For weighing in at 215 for Tenafly, Alex Dioff. For Fort Lee, Matt Dominguez. Weighing in at 285 for Fort Lee, Jonathan Granados, unopposed.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to East Gymnasium in Fort Lee, New Jersey, for tonight's Big North Showdown, and this the 2022-23 season opener for high school wrestling between the Tenafly Tigers and the Fort Lee Bridgemen. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long. So glad that you could join us here for this broadcast coverage brought to you courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. Joined alongside the likes of our producer and camera operator here tonight, Dimitri Nanis. And again, we kick off a brand new winter sports season here at Fort Lee when it comes to the wrestling mats. Tenafly coming in 11-7 a season ago, where they finished 5th overall in the Big North National Division. Fort Lee last season finished 7-13 overall, finished runners-up in the Big North American Division. In this matchup of this recent rivalry, it's been owned by Tenafly. They've won 4 out of their last 5 meetings with Fort Lee. But in the last time, which was March 24th, 2021, here inside East Gymnasium, Fort Lee had the better of the Tigers that night, winning 54-27, having won 9 of the 14 total bouts on the evening. So we'll see here tonight if Fort Lee can get off to a hot start this season, hosting their first home match of the season, as Tenafly will be in their black singlets with the orange striping down the sides. As you'll see, it's a little confusing at some points here tonight because both schools have identical school colors. We begin tonight at 106 pounds. And Alex Chu is the wrestler for Tenafly, no wrestler for Fort Lee. So a win by forfeit. We'll start off the season here for Tenafly at 106. And it's a 6-0 team lead now for Tenafly. Now we go to 113 pounds, as this is expected to be a forfeit for Tenafly. So Andrew Margolin will win by forfeit. So the first 2 weight classes were forfeits, 1 for each side. And now we're knotted up at 6-6 the score. At 120 pounds, it's expected to be Peter Benicos for Tenafly. And we'll see if Fort Lee will have a wrestler come out for 120. So it looks like it will be the third straight bout that begins courtesy of a forfeit, as Coach Gerard Carroll in his 8th season at the helm of Fort Lee motioned to our referee that he had no wrestler at that weight class. So once again, Tenafly will take a 6-point lead. They'll lead now 12-6 overall on the team scoreboard. 3 forfeits in the first 3 weight classes. Now we will finally get some wrestling action. Tenafly is led by their head coach, Chris Marin. Kyle Simone has been announced as the wrestler for the Tigers at 126 pounds. And again, after we had no wrestling match in our first 3 bouts of the evening, expecting to have some action here at 126 pounds. So Mike Campisi is announced as the wrestler for Fort Lee. So it's going to be Simone versus Campisi. Campisi will wear the green on his ankle, representing Fort Lee, while Simone will wear the red on his ankle, representing Tenafly. You can see the difference between the two sides, with Tenafly having the orange piping down the side of their singlets. Kyle Simone, a senior, went 5-4 a season ago. And Campisi getting the takedown. A 2-0 advantage here for Fort Lee. Michael Campisi, a sophomore, had 2 wins in 11 matches a season ago. Simone tries to get to his feet to get the escape, but Campisi sends him right back down. Again, this is our first actual bout of the evening between the two sides. We began at 106 pounds. We're currently at 126. The first 3 matches were forfeit victories for both sides. Simone still on bottom, with Campisi of Fort Lee riding on top of him. 1 minute left to go here in the first period. Simone gets to his feet. It's going to be sent right back down, though, by Campisi, who has the 2-0 takedown advantage right now. Tenafly won by forfeit at 106 and 120 pounds. Fort Lee won by forfeit at 113 pounds. There's the escape point for Simone. Cuts that deficit in half to 2-1 as we come up in the final 20 seconds of the first period. Approaching 10 seconds left in the period. Now the 2 points for Simone, and he takes his first lead after he fell behind early 2-0. Now Campisi has to be careful to stay off his back. And that'll be a turnaround, 3 straight points at the end of that first period for Tenafly's Kyle Simone, and Simone will take a 3-2 advantage with him into the start of the second period at 126 pounds. Again, Mike Campisi of Fort Lee took an early 2-0 advantage on an early takedown, but then Simone with an escape and a takedown of his own has given him his first lead of the match. As we put a fresh 2 minutes on the scoreboard to start off our second period of action here at 126 pounds. It's Campisi starting on bottom for Fort Lee as Simone trying to ride on top of him. Campisi can't get to his feet just yet as Simone throws him right back down. Again, it's a 3-2 lead right now for Kyle Simone here at 126 pounds. Already our 4th bout of the evening. Tenafly leading overall the team scoreboard 12-6. 30 seconds gone by here in the second, as Simone still in control by 1. 3-2 advantage over Fort Lee's grappler, Mike Campisi. He's working on bottom. Again, Campisi trying to avoid being pushed onto his back. scrambling with his chest firmly on the mat. Simone still with Campisi in his clutches now with 50 seconds left to go here in the second period. Campisi still trails by 1 point. An escape would level this matchup. It's 3-3. Coach Carroll of Fort Lee to the right side of your screen, barking that same instruction out to his wrestler. Got to score here. Bring it a tie, bring it into the third. 25 seconds left to go. Again, Campisi, who began this second period, he's been on bottom the entirety of this second period, has not gotten free yet for an escape. Approach 10 seconds left to go. Campisi gets to his feet, gets the escape, and has leveled this bout up at 3-3. 5 seconds left to go in the second period at 1:26. And it'll be a 3-3 score heading to the third period. (3-3) the score now here as we head to the third period at 126 pounds. Our first bout of the night that has actually two wrestlers going head-to-head. Again, if you're just joining us, Tenafly leads Fort Lee by a score of 12-6. They won 2 of the first 3 matches by forfeit. Kyle Simone of Tenafly in the black and orange will begin on bottom to start the third. 3-3 match here at 126 pounds. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, glad that you could join us for the start of a brand new wrestling season here, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. A Big North matchup between two teams from different divisions. Tenafly representing the Big North National Division, while Fort Lee representing the Big North American Division. A cross-divisional matchup early on to start off this brand new season. Simone has not been able to get up 50 seconds into the start of the third period here at 126 pounds. Simone is thrown out of bounds to the lower right-hand quadrant of the black wrestling mat here at Fort Lee. They'll both go out of bounds, and once again, Mike Campisi of Fort Lee is trying to ride out this time. 1:01 left to go in the third. If Simone gets to his feet and gets the escape point, he would give himself the lead once again. He has 1 escape point so far in this match. Simone is sent right back down again by Campisi. 50 seconds left to go here in the third. It still is anyone's match here, 3-3 at 126 pounds. 40 seconds left to go in the third. Simone trying to get an opening. Tries to arch his back a bit, but still is sent right back down by Campisi. Under 30 seconds now left to go here in the third. 3-3 still. Simone tries to shuffle his way out. He gets sent right back down. Simone gets to his feet, gets the escape point with 11 seconds remaining in the third. Kyle Simone up by 1. 5 seconds left to go in the match. Campisi tried to take the shot late, and Simone with a late escape point with 11 seconds left to go in the third will hold on to win 4-3 and win a 4-3 decision at 126 pounds. That will increase the Tenafly lead now to 15-6 overall in this team duel. So 2 forfeit victories and then that 4-3 decision at 126 have given the Tigers 3 of the first 4 bouts of the evening. As now that'll send us to 132 pounds. Jason Wang announced as the Tenafly wrestler. And Justin Yu is announced as the Fort Lee wrestler. So it's Jason Wang versus Justin Yu here at 132 pounds. Fort Lee went 3-2 here inside East Gymnasium a season ago. They snapped a 4-match losing streak in this rivalry against Tenafly in their last matchup in 2021, the same season that saw Fort Lee win the Big North American Division Championship. Again, Jason Wang of Tenafly is in the black and orange in the all-black with the letters FL on the front chest. Is Fort Lee's Justin Yu. Yu's quickness gets him the takedown and gets him an early 2-0 lead. As we come up on 40 seconds into the start of the first period at 132 pounds. Wang is a junior for Tenafly. Justin Yu is a sophomore for Fort Lee. Yu riding on top of the back of Wang. Now trying to push Wang forward. Rips him down, throws him to his back. Back points being counted off. Fort Lee looking for the pin, and they get it with 52.6 seconds left to go in the first period. Fort Lee wins by pin and trims that deficit now to 15-12. As that will bring us to 138 pounds. So that was the first win here of the evening, in a bout that was contested by 2 wrestlers for Fort Lee. They also have the 6 full team points courtesy of a forfeit win. George Benicos announced as the Tenafly wrestler at 138 pounds. And Ivan Garagulya has been announced as the wrestler for Fort Lee at 138 pounds. Again, Fort Lee's Garagulya versus Tenafly's George Benicos. Benicos will wear the red. Garagulya will wear the green. Garagulya, a junior, had 2 wins last season for Fort Lee. Benicos, George Benicos, went 16-3 a season ago for Tenafly. And Benicos gets a takedown. A nice maneuver there. He's trying to quickly get to work in the top left corner of the mat. Again, George Benicos is senior, went 16-3 last season for Tenafly. Tenafly went 5-2 a season ago in their road matches, so they were road warriors. Benicos was trying to send the Fort Lee wrestler to his back. Both wrestlers go out of bounds at the top left corner. Garagulya trailing 2-0 with 1:03 left to go in the first period here at 138 pounds. Again, Benicos is still firmly in control with 50 seconds and counting left to go here in the first period. Benicos trying to roll Garagulya to his back, has him on one side, looking for a little leverage now with his lower body. Garagulya is in trouble right now. The count off is happening with back points, and there's a George Benicos first period pin at 138 pounds for Tenafly. And Tenafly with the 6 bonus points. The 6 total points will once again extend their lead to 9 at 21-12. 144-pound weight class now as we briskly move along here this evening at East Gymnasium at Fort Lee. Adam Kazemdorf, the junior, will be awarded the forfeit victory at 144 pounds. Tenafly's largest lead of the night, now 27-12. So at 150 pounds, we'll have another bout here between two combatants, James Freiser of Tenafly and Max Diminovsky for Fort Lee. Max Divinovsky is a sophomore for the Bridgman. James Freiser is a sophomore for Tenafly. Again, Tenafly is in the black and orange singlets, also wearing the red on the ankles, in the all black for Fort Lee, and wearing the green on the ankles. One of the few times that you actually see a school come in here to East Gymnasium with identical colors to Fort Lee. 30 seconds into a scoreless first period here at 150 pounds. Tenafly has won 5 of the first 7 bouts, including 3 by forfeit. Freiser looking for the takedown points, rotates around and scores the 2-0 advantage over Diminovsky. Diminovsky was trying to get to his feet. Both wrestlers went out of bounds, though, before he could create the escape. It still remains 2-0, 55 seconds left to go in the first here at 150. Now Freiser nearly had Diminovsky on his back, briefly at back points, being counted off. The escape point cuts Diminovsky's deficit in half. It's now 2-1, the lead for Freiser of Tenafly. No official back points were granted after Diminovsky quickly rotated and got forward. Again, we're at 150 pounds. We began tonight at 106 pounds. 15 seconds left to go in the first period. 2-1 lead for Tenafly's James Freiser. Freiser rotating around and now gets the 2 points. Another takedown, his second takedown of the first period. Extends his lead to 4-1, and Diminovsky was saved by the buzzer that time, as things were looking to get a little hairy there for the Fort Lee wrestler just at the end of the first 2 minutes of action. Diminovsky will begin on bottom to start the second, trailing by 3, 4-1. You're at 150 pounds. Freiser not only gets out, but also puts Diminovsky in one move on his back, and that's another pin for Tenafly. Tenafly in control, 33-12 on the overall team scoreboard after they win another match by pin. Second win by pin here this evening for the Tigers. They have won the last 3 consecutive bouts, 138 to 150 pounds, all with the full complement of 16 points. They extend their team lead now to 33-12 as we head to 157 pounds. Aiden Meddy announced as the wrestler for Fort Lee. So it's going to be Sun versus Meddy Andrew's son, a senior for Tenafly. Aiden Meddy, a sophomore for Fort Lee. Very young side this year for Coach Carroll. Taking on a Tenafly team that again went 11-7 a season ago. After today's duel, Tenafly will be competing in the Cutter Classic at Fairlawn High School tomorrow. The takedown immediately. Nearly an early pinfall victory here. Less than 20 seconds into the start of the first. Back points being counted off as Andrew's son. What a blistering start to this match. Son getting the leverage and gets the Tenafly pin. Tenafly dominating in the middleweights so far. They've won 4 consecutive bouts, 3 of which by pin. Andrew's son adds to the fun, and now Tenafly extends its lead to 39-12. Coach Marin has a veteran side that is producing here early and often against a Fort Lee side that's trying to find a little experience at the varsity level here, and the growing pains involved in that. Now at 165 pounds, it's going to be Jeremy Pitcock of Tenafly, a junior who went 22-4 last season, finished 5th at Region 1 at 150 pounds. His opponent will be Ryan Kim from Fort Lee. Ryan Kim is a freshman, so this is going to be a learning experience, to say the least, for the freshman going against one of Tenafly's best wrestlers in the junior Pitcock. So again, 5th at Region 1 at 150 pounds a season ago. Pitcock with a quick takedown of Kim. Now already puts him to his back. 10 seconds into the match. Scores the takedown and the pin. Tenafly flexing its muscles here on the road. 10 seconds is all it took for one of their stars, and Jeremy Pitcock, to score the takedown and then finish it off quickly with a pinfall victory. 45-12, Tenafly leads as we head to the final 4 bouts of the evening. Tenafly has just gone on a pinfall tear of late. They've won 4 of their last 5 bouts by pin. The only time they didn't win, they won by forfeit at 144. Aiden Saw announces the wrestler for Fort Lee at 175 pounds. Evan Rolski, the wrestler for Tenafly. So it's going to be Rolski versus Saw here at 175 pounds. Saw attacking, trying to get that first takedown here at 175. Saw fell his way into a awkward situation here, as now Rolski is getting the takedown and now potentially putting Saw to his back as well. And there's another Tenafly pin. Saw was being the aggressor early on, but caught himself a little unbalanced, fell to his back. That allowed Rolski to not only put him to his back to have the takedown, but then shift his weight and be in position to also score the win by pin. So Tenafly extends its lead now to 51-12. To 190 pounds we go. Three different wrestlers weighed in at this weight class for Tenafly. We'll find out who Coach Chris Morin sends out to represent his Tigers at 190 pounds. Guy Olsner is the selection, the freshman. And Miles Beckerman, the junior, who had 4 wins a season ago for Coach Carroll and Fort Lee, is the representative for the Bridgemen here at 190 pounds. Fort Lee will next be in action on December 21st when they travel to Riverdale. As I mentioned, Tenafly will be participating in the Cutter Classic tomorrow at Fairlawn. Potentially dangerous. And a penalty point given to Tenafly. So Olsner will take a 1-0 lead. Now extend that lead to 3-0 with his takedown. So a 3-0 lead for Olsner on Beckerman. Beckerman trying to get free. Olsner looking for another pin. This time the tables turned by Beckerman. Gets the 2-point reversal. Cuts into that 3-0 deficit. It's 3-2. Now a reversal as well, produced by Olsner, as he'll once again recapture his 3-point lead at 5-2. 1:08 remaining in our first period at 190 pounds. Olsner of Tenafly in the black and orange. Beckerman in the all black for Fort Lee. Beckerman will begin on bottom. Under a minute now left to go here in the first period at 190. Olsner nearly put Beckerman in the cradle. No back points. Beckerman doing a good job to avoid surrendering those near fall points. Only 2 more bouts remain after this one. We began at 106. We're currently at 190 pounds. 30 seconds and counting left to go in the first period here at 190. Beckerman put to his back again. This time the back points are being counted off. Olsner trying to back his way into a pin. 20 seconds left to go in the first. And there's another Tenafly pin. Tenafly has won 10 of the first 12 bouts here tonight. They have won 5 in a row by pin and have 6 wins by pin overall this evening. 3 of their remaining 4 wins were also by forfeits, so they're getting the full complement of the 16 points throughout the course of tonight's duel. That explains why they lead 57-12. The only bout they won that did not get the full 6 points was Kyle Simone's 4-3 decision over Mike Campisi at 126 pounds. So the 215-pound weight class. Matt Dominguez checks in for Fort Lee. And it'll be Cole Mogensen that'll wrestle for Tenafly at 215 pounds. So Mogensen versus Dominguez, the matchup here at 215 pounds. And this might be our final bout of the evening, because Tenafly currently did not have anyone listed at 285 pounds. We shall see. Mogensen, with a quick takedown. Mogensen, a junior, went 11-7 for Tenafly a season ago. Two 2-0 lead, 30 seconds gone by in the first period here at 215 pounds. Dominguez trying to get to his feet for Fort Lee. His chest firmly planted on the mat. 1:15 and counting left to go in the first. Mogensen still holding on top of Dominguez. Dominguez with his chest on the mat still. 1 minute remaining here in the first period at 215 pounds. Still being kept on the mat. Now stall warning being hit against Fort Lee's Dominguez. Next one would result in a point for Mogensen of Tenafly. Deficit remains 2-0. That early takedown scored by Mogensen of Tenafly. 25 seconds remaining. Mogensen puts Dominguez to his back, gets the pin with 23 seconds left in the first period. Seven wins by pin here this evening for Tenafly. Tenafly leads 63-12. 285. Looks like it will be a forfeit. Fort Lee will have Jonathan Granados is announced as the wrestler for Fort Lee. He will win by forfeit. First win for Fort Lee since the pin by Justin Yu at 132 pounds. So Fort Lee will win their third bout of the night, but Tenafly took care of business this evening in this season opening bout and this duel. Tenafly will be victorious by a final score of 63-18 on the road here at East Gymnasium. Tenafly will improve to 1-0 on the season. The Bridgmen of Fort Lee will fall to 0-1. Again, Tenafly is scheduled to be competing in the Cutter Classic tomorrow at Fairlawn High School, while Fort Lee is scheduled next to face Riverdale on the road in Oradell on December 21st. Reminder that you could join us for our next home wrestling duel here at East Gymnasium as the Bridgmen will take on Ramsey on December 29th. You can watch all the action here live and on demand for free, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department's YouTube channel. So again, the final score here tonight from East Gymnasium, Tenafly 63, Fort Lee 18. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting these proud student athletes from both fine institutions. For my cameraman and producer, Dimitri Nanis, I'm Dan Long saying so long and thanks for watching.